uniform?
Yes, sir. Just got back from deployment.
You got ID proving you're military?
Yes, sir. It's in my pocket.
Hands up. Don't reach for anything.
Officer, you asked for my ID.
The officer's voice cut through the quiet morning. Hands up. Don't reach for anything. Sergeant David Williams, fresh from Afghanistan, froze at the gas pump. He had simply tried to retrieve the military ID the officer had just requested. What Officer Hrix didn't realize was the man on his knees had 3 combat tours, 2 Purple Hearts, and a Bronze Star for valor under enemy fire. His arrest was being recorded from multiple angles. Within 72 hours, the Pentagon would intervene, the Department of Justice would launch a federal investigation, and Officer Hrix would face charges carrying a potential sentence of 62 years in federal prison. Sergeant David Williams was 28 years old, a decade into his service with the U.S. Marines. He joined right after high school, driven by a profound sense of duty. His career was marked by exceptional bravery, earning him the prestigious Bronze Star for a combat action where he ran into enemy fire to save 3 trapped Marines. Twice wounded in battle, he earned 2 Purple Hearts, each time returning to the front lines. His commanders consistently praised his composure under intense pressure, marking him for rapid promotion to staff sergeant. On this cold December morning, Williams desired only one thing: to surprise his mother. He had just completed a 9-month deployment and attended a welcome home event, still in his immaculate dress uniform. 50 miles separated him from his family, a distance he intended to close before noon. A stop for gas and coffee was his only detour. What Officer Hrix didn't know at that moment, what he seemed fundamentally incapable of understanding, was the true weight of the man standing before him. Officer Troy Hrix, 34, a deputy sheriff with 8 years on the force, had cultivated a reputation. It was a reputation whispered among certain communities, particularly the black residents of the county. 4 formal complaints had been filed against him prior to this incident. Each complaint alleged baseless stops, and each complainant was black. Every single case was officially closed, citing insufficient evidence. Hrix faced no consequences. The black community developed an informal warning system. If Hrix's patrol car was spotted, caution was advised. He had once detained a black pastor driving a church van, deeming it suspicious, despite the church's name emblazoned on its side. On another occasion, he called for backup on a black college student simply reading in a park, claiming a non-existent match to a description. He even accused a black business owner of suspiciously watching his own store. In every instance, the target was black, had committed no offense, and Hrix walked away without reprimand. This pattern of unchecked authority would soon collide with a decorated hero, a collision that would fundamentally alter Hrix's life and ignite a national debate. It was approximately 10:30 a.m. Williams pulled his car, still bearing the dust of a long journey, into the gas station. He wore his Marine dress uniform, the distinctive blue jacket, white cover, and the glint of medals on his chest. The words U.S. Marines were clearly visible. As he began pumping gas, he made a quick call to his sister, reaffirming the surprise for their mother. Officer Hrix was already at the station, off-duty but driving his patrol car. He emerged from the convenience store with a coffee, his gaze falling upon Williams. He saw the uniform, the medals, and the black man wearing them. Instead of professional respect, Hrix felt a surge of suspicion. He had never encountered a black Marine in his small town. His immediate conclusion: the uniform must be fake. He began to walk towards Williams. A single unfounded suspicion was about to set a catastrophic chain of events in motion. Hrix stopped a few feet from Williams, his hand resting near his sidearm. "That your uniform?" he demanded. Williams, though tired, remained calm and polite. "Yes, sir. I just got back from Afghanistan this morning." Hrix offered no thanks, no welcome home. His face remained rigid as he scrutinized the medals. "You got ID proving you're military?" Williams nodded, beginning to reach for the pocket containing his military identification, the very item Hrix had just requested. "Hands up! Don't reach for anything!" Hrix's voice was sharp. Williams froze, then slowly raised his hands, his combat training overriding instinct. "Officer," he said, "you asked for my ID. It's in my pocket." Hrix stepped closer, the tension palpable. "On the ground now!" Williams glanced around. Other customers stared, some already raising their phones. A woman gasped, an older man shook his head. Williams knelt, his dress uniform still bearing the marks of his welcome home event, pressed into the dirty pavement. The metals clinked softly against the concrete. This was the moment control slipped, not just for Williams, but for an entire system unprepared for the truth. Hrix roughly patted Williams down, retrieving the military ID, dog tags, and deployment papers. Everything was authentic. Photo ID, active duty status, unit information, deployment dates. It all matched. "Sir," Williams stated calmly, "you can call Camp Lejeune right now. My commanding officer's number is on those papers. I just want to go home." Hrix dismissed the proof. "These could be fake," he muttered. The gas station clerk emerged, speaking up. "Officer, I've seen Marines before. That uniform is real." Hrix ignored him. An elderly customer, a veteran himself, added, "Those are real medals. I know what they look like. That's a Bronze Star." Hrix ignored him too. "You giving me attitude?" Hrix asked Williams, his voice hard. "No, sir," Williams replied. Hrix retrieved his handcuffs. They clicked shut around Williams's wrists, the metals on his chest now clinking against the cold steel. The stated charges: impersonating a military service member and suspicious activity. Both were demonstrable falsehoods, easily disproven in minutes. Williams sat in the back of the patrol car, still in his dress uniform, 50 miles from the mother he planned to surprise. The silent drive to the station marked the end of one journey and the catastrophic beginning of another. 10 minutes after the arrest, Officer Hrix escorted Sergeant Williams into the precinct. Williams still wore his impeccable dress uniform, the medals now askew from the rough pat-down. Other officers in the station looked up, their expressions shifting. They stared at the uniform, then at the medals, and finally, their gaze settled on Hrix. An unspoken understanding rippled through the room. Something was profoundly wrong. The booking officer that day was Sergeant Mike Torres. Torres was a veteran himself, having served 2 tours in Iraq with the U.S. Army. He possessed an intimate knowledge of military uniforms and the intricate details of official commendations. The instant Williams walked through the door, Torres recognized the uniform's authenticity and immediately understood the gravity of the situation. He knew, with absolute certainty, that a Bronze Star, prominently displayed on Williams's chest, could not be faked. Every single one is meticulously tracked by the military. This was the first moment Hrix's carefully constructed narrative began to crumble, not in a federal courtroom, but in the stark reality of his own precinct. Torres's voice, usually even, was cold and sharp. "This man is a real Marine," he stated, fixing Hrix with an intense stare. "What the hell did you do?" Hrix attempted to offer a defense. He claimed Williams had been acting suspiciously, then asserted that Williams had reached for something. Torres immediately cut him off, his voice rising. "He reached for his ID because you asked for it." The argument was brief, but the message from Torres was clear. Hrix had made a catastrophic error. Sergeant Torres walked directly to Williams. Without another word, he produced a key and unlocked the handcuffs, freeing Williams' wrists. "Sergeant," Torres said, his tone one of genuine regret. "I'm sorry. This should never have happened." Williams gently rubbed his wrists, maintaining his composure. Yet, in his eyes, the deep disappointment of a homecoming turned nightmare was evident. This was not the reunion he had envisioned. As a matter of procedure, Torres still conducted a thorough verification. He examined Williams's military ID, noting the federal security features and holographic seal that confirmed its authenticity. The photo matched perfectly. He checked the dog tags, confirming their correct format, and reviewed the deployment papers, official orders from Camp Lejeune, complete with his commanding officer's name and phone number. Torres picked up the phone. It was a mere formality. He already knew the truth. The officer who answered at Camp Lejeune confirmed every detail. "Sergeant David Williams," the voice stated. 3 tours, 2 Purple Hearts, Bronze Star with Valor, recommended for promotion. The officer continued, emphasizing, "That Marine has more valor in his record than most careers. Why was he arrested?" Torres looked directly at Hrix, repeating the question with chilling calm. Good question. Now, everything truly changed. Camp Lejeune did not simply end the call. The information quickly ascended the chain of command, reaching Marine Corps headquarters, then the Pentagon, and finally, the Department of Justice. Within a mere few hours, a federal investigation was formally launched. The FBI became involved. Military lawyers were notified. This incident, born from a local officer's prejudice, was not going to be handled quietly. What Hrix had dismissed as a simple street arrest was rapidly evolving into an incident with national security implications. Hrix, attempting to project normalcy, wrote his official report. He reiterated his claims of Williams being suspicious, insisted the uniform might be fake, and asserted he had followed every procedure. However, other officers had already seen the gas station footage. They knew there were multiple witnesses. They had heard Sergeant Torres's damning accusations. They understood Hrix was in profound trouble. His attempts at deception were transparent. By that evening, Sergeant Williams was officially released. Sergeant Torres personally drove him the remaining 50 miles home. Williams finally reached his mother's house. She wept upon seeing him, then wept again upon hearing the horrifying details of his arrest. In a small, quiet gesture of solidarity, Torres stayed for dinner. He shook Williams' hand firmly. "Not all of us are like Hrix," he said. "Thank you for your service." Williams, in turn, offered a simple, "Thank you for seeing me." Despite this brief moment of human connection and a localized attempt at apology, the true scope of Hrix's egregious misjudgment was only just beginning to reveal itself. A shadow was looming, extending far beyond the county line. The local police station had briefly contained the immediate damage, but the ripples were already expanding. An isolated incident of alleged misconduct had now captured the attention of the highest levels of military and federal justice. The calm within the precinct was deceptive. Outside, the machinery of federal accountability was already in motion, poised to dissect every detail of Hrix's actions. The morning after Sergeant Williams' arrest, Camp Lejeune convened an immediate press conference. Williams' own commanding officer flew to Georgia, appearing before a phalanx of cameras and reporters. He held Williams' service record for all to see. "This Marine," he declared, his voice firm, "served his country with honor in combat. He has 3 deployments, 2 Purple Hearts, a Bronze Star for saving 3 Marines under enemy fire." A stark pause hung in the air. He was treated like a criminal at a gas station, 50 miles from home, in his dress uniform. The room fell silent as reporters furiously scribbled notes. "We expect full accountability," the commander concluded. "This is not acceptable." This public denouncement marked the moment Hrix's actions ceased to be a localized incident and became a national affront. Concurrently, federal agents descended upon Georgia. The Department of Justice Civil Rights Division formally opened a case. FBI agents began a meticulous review of all evidence. Paramount among them, the gas station surveillance footage. The video quality was high definition, providing a clear, unambiguous view of every interaction. Additionally, multiple bystanders had recorded the incident on their phones. Every angle, every recording told the same story. Williams remained calm, answered politely, and made no threatening moves. Hrix, conversely, escalated the confrontation, yelled orders, and ultimately arrested an innocent man. The agents then pulled Hrix's personnel file. What they discovered confirmed a disturbing pattern. 4 previous complaints, all involving black targets, all lacking genuine justification, and all closed without any disciplinary action against Hrix. This time, however, was different. This time, the evidence was irrefutable, and the victim was a decorated military hero. Federal prosecutors moved swiftly, filing significant charges against Hrix. The first was assault on a military service member, a federal crime specifically designed to protect those who serve. Second, deprivation of rights under color of law, meaning Hrix used his authority as an officer to illegally infringe upon Williams' civil liberties. Third, false imprisonment for unlawfully detaining an innocent individual. Fourth, official misconduct for lying in his police report to cover his actions. And finally, a hate crime enhancement was added, predicated on the clear pattern of racial targeting revealed in his prior complaints and this incident. Hrix and his legal team attempted to mount a defense. His lawyer initially claimed Hrix simply did not recognize military uniforms. The prosecution's response was immediate and pointed. What did Williams's jacket clearly state across the chest? U.S. Marines. The lawyer then argued Hrix had followed standard procedure. Prosecutors immediately countered with the gas station footage, asking, "Is there a procedure for arresting someone simply pumping gas?" There was no credible answer. The defense then suggested the military ID could have been fake. Prosecutors calmly explained that military IDs contained federal security features and holographic seals, verifiable in minutes. Every single excuse Hrix's defense offered evaporated under the weight of the evidence. Hrix was swiftly terminated from his position. He lost his badge, his career, and his hard-earned pension. Yet, this was merely the beginning of his accountability. He still faced a federal trial. The institutional protection Hrix had enjoyed for years had finally collapsed. While the legal case against Hrix was being meticulously built, the videos of the arrest were spreading like wildfire across the internet. The customers who recorded the incident at the gas station uploaded their footage. Within an hour, the first video appeared on Twitter. The caption was stark: "Marine in dress uniform arrested at gas station for pumping gas." Within 3 hours, it had garnered 500,000 views and was trending across Georgia. 6 hours later, national news outlets, CNN, MSNBC, Fox, all began covering the story, regardless of their usual political leanings. Within 12 hours, the combined views across all platforms exceeded 5 million. By 24 hours, the hashtag #LightJusticeForWilliams was trending nationwide. The story's reach became international. Within 48 hours, the BBC, Reuters, and Al Jazeera were reporting on the incident. The world was watching. By 72 hours, the Pentagon issued an official statement, a rare and powerful endorsement of Williams's plight. The view counts continued to climb exponentially. Twitter recorded 8 million views and 200,000 shares. TikTok videos collectively reached 15 million views. YouTube news clips hit 10 million. Veteran Facebook groups shared the footage relentlessly. The comment sections became a torrent of outrage and solidarity. "He survived Afghanistan," one comment read. "He shouldn't have to survive a gas station." Another, "That man has medals for saving lives. He was treated like a criminal." The sentiment resonated deeply. This is what Black veterans face. Service doesn't protect you. Many demanded a sentence even harsher than 62 years. Veterans groups like the VFW and the American Legion spoke out, while active duty soldiers shared the video, amplifying its reach. The NAACP and the ACLU issued powerful statements. Williams's mother recounted waiting with his favorite meal, only to receive a call saying he was in jail. His sister remarked, "He survived a war. He almost didn't survive coming home." The sheer volume of public outcry and the irrefutable visual evidence had transformed a personal indignity into a global phenomenon. Hrix's deceit, once protected by a system that turned a blind eye, was now exposed to the unforgiving scrutiny of millions. The pressure was immense, a tide of condemnation that no local department could withstand. The question was no longer if Hrix would face justice, but rather, what lasting impact this singular incident would leave on the nation. The trial of Officer Troy Hrix unfolded in a federal courthouse, underscoring the gravity of the charges. This was no longer a local matter. The Department of Justice itself was prosecuting. A jury of 12 citizens, tasked with weighing the evidence, listened intently. Prosecutors began by presenting the gas station footage. It played, clear as day, for the entire courtroom to see. Sergeant Williams, in his impeccably worn dress uniform, medals glinting, calmly pumping gas, answering questions politely, then being ordered to his knees. The contrast was stark, the injustice palpable. Next, Williams' service record was presented. 3 deployments, 2 Purple Hearts, a Bronze Star with valor. The story behind the Bronze Star was read aloud. Williams running into enemy fire, dragging 3 Marines to safety, saving their lives. That, the prosecutor stated, is the man Officer Hrix arrested. The silence in the courtroom was heavy, the impact of the testimony undeniable. The prosecution then called military experts to testify. They meticulously analyzed the uniform worn by Williams in the video, confirming its 100% authenticity. It was properly worn, the medals correctly positioned, every detail adhering to strict military regulations. No room was left for doubt. The defense, however, remained resolute in its attempts to obfuscate the truth. Hrix's lawyer repeated the claim that his client did not recognize military uniforms. The prosecutor responded with a single, devastating question. What did the jacket say across the chest? U.S. Marines, the lawyer reluctantly admitted. And you claim he didn't know it was a military uniform? The rhetorical question hung in the air, a testament to the absurdity of the defense. The defense pivoted. My client thought the ID might be fake. Again, the prosecutor laid out the facts. Military IDs possess federal security features and holographic seals. They are verifiable in minutes. The implication was clear. Hrix had made no attempt to verify. Then, the lawyer insisted, my client followed procedure. This was met by the gas station footage, playing once more. What procedure, the prosecutor demanded, requires arresting someone for simply buying gas? There was no answer, only the damning visuals of Hrix's aggressive and unwarranted actions. Every single defense, meticulously constructed, crumbled under the weight of visual proof and straightforward facts. The jury did not deliberate for long. Their decision was swift and unanimous. Guilty on every single charge: assault on a service member, deprivation of rights, false imprisonment, official misconduct, and the hate crime enhancement. The verdict was a resounding declaration of accountability. The sentencing phase brought an added layer of gravitas. The judge, himself a Navy veteran, addressed Hrix directly. His voice was slow, deliberate, each word carrying immense weight. You didn't see a Marine, the judge began. You didn't see medals. You didn't see service. You saw only what you wanted to see. He paused, his gaze unyielding. And why? You humiliated a man who has given more to this country than you ever will. The sentence was delivered: 62 years in federal prison. It was one of the longest sentences ever handed down for police misconduct. With no possibility of parole, the verdict and sentence sent a clear message. The abuse of power, especially when fueled by prejudice against those who serve, would not be tolerated at the federal level. Beyond the criminal conviction, Sergeant Williams also pursued civil justice. He filed a lawsuit against the county and the state for the profound injustice he suffered. The legal process in civil court also moved with significant momentum, culminating in a settlement. The amount awarded to Williams was $16.8 million, making it the largest settlement in the state's history for police misconduct. Hrix, stripped of his badge, his freedom, his pension, and his reputation, had lost everything. The system, which had once protected Hrix's repeated transgressions, had finally, dramatically, held him accountable. But while justice had been delivered in a courtroom, the echoes of the arrest and the systemic issues it exposed still lingered, a haunting question mark over the very fabric of society. The financial settlement provided some redress, and the prison sentence delivered retribution. But could such measures truly heal the deeper wounds inflicted? The answer remained profoundly unsettled. Hrix lost everything: his badge, his freedom, his pension, his reputation. The legal system, after years of apparent protection, finally delivered a crushing consequence. But here is the truth: money does not fix everything. Some wounds go deeper than any check can reach. Months later, Sergeant David Williams, the decorated Marine who had endured Afghanistan, stood before the United States Congress. He had been invited to speak about the pervasive issue of how black veterans are treated in their own country. The room was full, cameras recording every word, amplifying his quiet, powerful voice. He spoke calmly, with the same measured composure he displayed at the gas station. "I have PTSD from combat," he stated, his voice steady. But the arrest was worse. In Afghanistan, I knew who the enemy was. At that gas station, I was the enemy in my own country. A profound silence fell over the room as he paused, allowing the weight of his words to sink in. I was 50 miles from my mother's house, wearing the uniform I wore to serve this nation, and I was put on the ground like a criminal. His testimony revealed a deeper battle, one fought not on foreign soil, but on the very streets he swore to protect. He spoke of his medals, 2 Purple Hearts, awarded for being shot at, blown up, nearly killed for his country. I saved 3 Marines under fire, he reiterated. I came home to be treated like a threat. His message for other black veterans was clear. Your service matters. Your sacrifice matters. Don't let anyone make you feel like it doesn't. To America, his words were a stark challenge. The uniform should mean something. The medals should mean something. I am not the only one this happened to. I am just the one who got recorded. His ultimate desire was simple. I want this to be the last time. I want the next Black Marine to pump gas in peace. His final words resonated deeply with everyone present. I went to war for this country. I should not have to go to war with this country just to come home. Williams's case, fueled by undeniable video evidence and swift public outrage, led to tangible change. The Pentagon instituted new regulations mandating that local police forces must now verify military status through official channels before stopping service members in uniform. Williams himself helped pass a new law, the Service Member Protection Act. The indelible footage of his arrest became mandatory training material for police academies nationwide, used to teach officers precisely what not to do. Yet, even with these hard-won victories, an unsettling truth remains, haunting the periphery of justice. Williams had advantages most victims of similar misconduct do not possess. He had a chest full of undeniable medals, a powerful symbol of his sacrifice. He had the unequivocal support of the Pentagon, a formidable institution rarely seen intervening so directly. Most crucially, he had crystal-clear video evidence. Most people who face such dehumanizing treatment have none of these. Their stories never go viral. Their cases never reach federal court. They fade into obscurity, unredressed and unheard. So, let us ask the haunting systemic questions that persist long after the headlines fade. How many Black veterans have to be humiliated before we truly fix this ingrained pattern? How many decorated heroes must kneel on dirty pavement before accountability becomes automatic, not contingent on virality? How many times must U.S. Marines be written across someone's chest before they are simply seen, unequivocally, as American? Because if we only care when there is video, if we only act when the Pentagon gets involved, if we only punish officers when their misconduct goes viral, then we are merely waiting for the next Hrix, waiting for the next Williams, waiting for the next homecoming that never truly happens. The fight for true systemic change, for a nation that sees and protects all its heroes, irrespective of their skin color or the presence of a camera, is far from over. It is a continuous vital struggle to ensure that the uniform and the medals always mean something for everyone.